Towards the end of last year, I had mentioned I'm gonna have very specific skincare goals in 2025. So today I'm gonna be talking all about retinoids, give you guys the basics, the TLDR version of them, how I incorporate them into my skincare routine as a sensitive and dry skin girly, and how you can access your own prescription through Amazon One Medical, who I've partnered with on this video. So first things first, let's talk about the basics of retinoids and essentially what they are. Now, retinoids are considered a workhorse in a skincare routine, which is why you've probably heard them talked about quite a bit. And honestly, if you guys want like the science and the real nitty-gritty on retinoids, I'm just gonna give you the Cliff Notes version. The term retinoid is actually considered kind of like a category. So I always equate it in my head to the idea of fruit. Like there are many types of fruit, but fruit kind of is the umbrella term. That's what retinoids are. It's an umbrella term for vitamin A derivatives. Now there's a whole spectrum of vitamin A derivatives that you'll find in different skincare products, ranging from less potent to more potent, or lower percentages to higher percentages. Obviously, the lower percentages are going to be things you can access over the counter, while the higher percentages are going to be more prescription grade. On top of that, there's naturally going to be more dramatic results when you get to the higher end of things, but we'll discuss that in a second. Now, in general, retinoids are considered to have many benefits, but the ones you'll hear the most are, number one, the boost in collagen production. Now, obviously, collagen production slows down as we age, so anything we can do in aiding the process of collagen production is something you want to do. Another thing that retinoids are going to help with are uneven skin tone, with helping with cellular turnover, and retinoids also are thought to thicken the skin, which again, as we age, our skin tends to thin, so anything we can do to slow down that process or prevent that process, we want to do. Now, all of the above are going to help again with the uneven skin tone, any textural issues you might be experiencing, and also fine lines and wrinkles. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there's a whole spectrum of vitamin A derivatives, and so when you're talking about getting more results, people tend to gravitate towards the higher percentages, but the thing with higher percentages is you often have to have a provider and get a prescription for it. And that's where Amazon One Medical comes into play. Now, one of the biggest questions I get asked when it comes to getting a prescription retinoid type of product is, how do I get one? What's the easiest way to do it? And honestly, Amazon One Medical answers all of this. Normally when it comes to doctor visits, they can be very expensive, and also it can take months to be seen by a doctor. So the fact that I can get access to 24/7 care through Amazon One Medical is super convenient. I wanted to show you guys some of the options you have with Amazon One Medical, because some of the features that I really appreciate when it comes to convenience, affordability, and flexibility is they have a pay per visit option and also obviously a membership option. And as you can see here on the front page, the pricing is very transparent and extremely affordable. We know that medical care can sometimes feel inaccessible, so I like that this brings it directly to you, straight to your home. It also offers different treatment options outside of just like anti-aging or dermatological type of treatments. They have a bunch of other different options. And as I scroll down here, you'll see all of the various conditions you can talk to a provider or doctor about. So it's really nice because not only do you have access to a doctor, prescription refills, and prescription grade skincare. Like for me, I would have really appreciated this when I was having my really bad eczema flare-ups, because I could talk to a doctor immediately. This is a very nice option. So just to kind of walk you through the process really quickly to show you kind of what it looks like when you go through the questionnaire. And for me, I'm just gonna pick the anti-aging skincare option because that's what I did for my retinoid. And again, just to show you what it looks like and how easy this is, you can also choose your visit type. So if you want to do message only or video, if it matters for you how much it costs or what's more convenient for you, you have both of those options. So I'm just going to pick the video option, and as I go through this, the next step would be for me to just fill out an intake form, and before I know it, I would be talking to a doctor or provider and getting my prescription. And once my prescription is filled through Amazon One Medical, true to Amazon form, it's shipped discreetly and directly straight to my home in a very quick manner. So that's also very nice. I like how tailored this experience is when it comes to getting my prescriptions or my refills. They have 30 plus different treatment options, so you can use Amazon One Medical for other medical concerns and needs outside of just retinoids, but that's what I use use to get mine. So I'm gonna put everything down in the description box below if you want to get more information on Amazon One Medical and if you want to start your treatment today. Now let's talk about how I incorporate retinoids into my skincare routine. Like I said, as someone who has a sensitive skin type and who's using one of the strongest forms, which is tretinoin. So I'm gonna show you guys how I incorporate my tretinoin or retinoid into my skincare routine, and I'm literally going to walk you through it. It's honestly very simple. I use very basic skincare on nights that I use any type of retinoid product. So I'm starting off with a cleansing oil. This one is a very gentle, fragrance-free one. I just put a couple of pumps into my hand. Obviously, I have a makeup on all day. And I start off with a solid double cleanse. Double cleansing is very important because it gets all of the dirt and grime broken up from the day. Like I said, I do have a sensitive skin type, so I generally gravitate towards fragrance-free products anyways and more gently formulated products, but especially when I'm using a retinoid, I make sure to be very gentle and focus on barrier support. And then while my skin is obviously still wet, I move on to my cleanser. Now honestly, at this point, I'm in my shower. I work my cleansing oil in, and then I hop in the shower to rinse it off, so I make sure I get a good rinse. But for video's sake, obviously I'm doing it at my sink, so it's a little messier than usual. But I am using, again, a gentle type of cleanser. I do wear a good amount of makeup, so honestly these days I do prefer something that has just a little bit of suds without being aggravating. So this is just gonna be worked into my skin. As you can probably see, I do have a little bit of eye makeup on my eyes still, so I just use a gentle makeup remover and then a lid cleanser, and then I just point remove. Now I like to opt for a hydrating toner because I want to make sure when it comes to using any type of retinoid type product, I avoid anything with exfoliation, anything with active ingredients. I just keep everything super basic and simple. Like I said, I really just focus on barrier support on these days. Then I use a hyaluronic acid serum. Again, something super basic. Just another step of extra hydration for my skin. I will kind of like wait a minute or two between every step and like incorporate this in my nighttime routine. Like I'll floss my teeth, apply something, brush my teeth, apply something, so they have a little bit of time in between each step to just absorb a little bit. Now this is where the sandwiching method comes into play, and essentially the sandwich method acts as a moisturizer, retinoid, and then moisturizer. So you're kind of buffering the skin from the retinoid a little bit, but it can still penetrate through the skincare you applied, so you still get the benefits of using it without the irritation. I typically apply a, again, very basic moisturizer, something that doesn't have too much fragrance and something that's a bit on the like light to medium side. So that just goes onto my skin in a nice thin layer. Then we move on to the exciting part, which is a fresh tube of my tretinoin, which again, this is prescription. You can only get this with a prescription. So I'm so happy that with Amazon One Medical, I have access to this. And now I have something I can recommend for you guys if you guys want to get something like this but don't know where to start. So literally a fresh tube, I'm gonna punch the seal. And then I take about a pea-size amount, which some people will measure it by like half the tip of their finger, which I guess if that works for you, then great. But like I just kind of eyeball the pea size. That much if you want a visual. And then standard practice is to dot it onto the skin, like so. So you get kind of an even application. I strictly avoid my eye area. In fact, I'm probably a little too cautious. I basically stop here. Then I always take a teeny tiny extra, that much. And then I also take it down my neck. Then we get that goodness everywhere. So at this point, I'm pretty much done in the bathroom and I kind of carry on with my nighttime routine. What I actually do is I keep my occlusive or like my thicker moisturizer by my bedside at night so I can apply this as my last step. This gives my tretinoin a good amount of time to just sit on my skin and absorb. And then I can also apply a thick layer of this guy, which is my favorite, obviously, and I can just like go straight to bed. And fair warning when I say I'm generous with this, I'm very generous with this. And I just kind of like stamp it onto my skin. And like I said, I'm doing this in bed with like a little hand mirror. And because I layer it like this, when I wake up, my skin doesn't feel dry, it's not flaky, it's not irritated. Being able to buffer this gives me the benefits of using it while keeping my skin from getting too dry or irritated. In the morning, I use an SPF, but I do this every single day regardless of what I used the previous night, but especially if you're using a retinoid, you wanna make sure you're protecting your skin, so be sure to layer on your SPF. So that's how I use the retinoid that I get from Amazon One Medical. Now, if you're a beginner when it comes to incorporating any type of retinoid in your skincare routine, I would definitely recommend working your way up. So using it one night, seeing how your skin responds in that week, then the next week using it twice a week, and then so on and so forth. I honestly haven't even worked my way up to using it every night. I still use my retinoids and my tretinoin every other night, and that works best for me. And one of the myths that I see is that you won't get the benefit if you don't use it every night, which is not true. The effects of retinoids are cumulative, so it's more about consistency. So those are the basics when it comes to retinoids and how I use mine. I hope this was helpful. If you guys just wanted like a basic guide to them, because it's kind of a term we hear talked about a lot, but they have a lot of confusion behind them and they can be very intimidating. So I hope I simplified this for you, including getting access to your prescription retinoid, which like I said is super easy, convenient, and affordable through Amazon One Medical. Again, I'm gonna link everything down in the description box below if you wanna start your treatment. As always, I hope you guys are happy and healthy, and don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share with your friends and family, hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.